What we're going to talk about now are some of the administrative functions of the marketplace, how it really works, and things that you might need to know if you want to tune some of the settings or stuff like that. So let's start with logging and the way that that works. Everything for the logs is built around the idea of an event that happened. So in this case, when you look at our logs, what you're seeing is an event for the background task for shipment tracking running. So each of these log events is drillable to see what happened. And so you can go in here and look and see exactly what dumps out to the console when you're looking at it in real time. We're telling you exactly what we found, exactly how it was treated, if there were any failures or anything like that. So, in the instance where you do have a problem with something, you can see it'll show up as failed. And we can filter on that. We can come down here and say, hey, just show me stuff that's failed, and we could see we had some item catalog sync failures. And here's one, as well, and kind of gives a lot of detail that we can use on our side to help run the problem down. But you'll get as much logging as you can stand to look at. For orders, if you have your order import set to debug mode, we actually log the P21 API payloads so that we can help try to track down what's going on if we start having a problem with a particular order or set of orders. So the way that works is you'll see these debug entries that are a little bit more granular on what's going on, and we can look and see exactly what that payload looks like. The thing to remember with that is we are going to redact any PII. We have to do that for the data protection policy for Amazon. This system does not hold PII. It completely complies with all of Amazon's requirements for data protection. So that's just something to know on debug mode. So getting in and out of debug mode, this is a good segue to talk about tasks and how those work. So if we go over here to task management, you have a lot of different things going on. By default, we're going to activate database maintenance and log cleanup when we install the system. But then everything else you turn on as you need it. For instance, if you're not doing eBay, you would never turn on the eBay functionality. There would be no reason to. But as you move down through into some of these other things, order import, pricing sync, shipment tracking, stuff like that, once you have tested things out and you're happy with it, you can go ahead and enable those and let them run on a schedule. So if you want to edit the schedules, you can certainly do that. You use a cron expression to do that. If you need help with that, that's easily available online. Just to say, hey, I need a cron that does this, and it'll give you this format. We also have some preset schedules in here for you. So you can say every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes. We went ahead and tried to pre-configure them with schedules that seem to make sense. So we're doing full pricing syncs, twice a day. We're doing shipment tracking every 15 minutes. We're doing orders every 5 minutes. We do item matches every 30 minutes. So if you add a new item to Amazon within 30 minutes, we're going to try to auto match it. Full item catalog sync happens daily. Inventory syncs every 30 minutes. So that's what we're doing by default. The thing about it is all of these syncs are differential. We're never going in and saying, let's pull all of your P21 data every single time. We're pulling items that have changed or inventory that has changed. When we look at pricing, we look at 7 or 8 different things that might have happened in P21 that could cause a price change, a price page update, the INV loc record has changed. That would be the item location record has changed. The item record has changed. Anything that you might have done to affect pricing, that's what we're keying on to say, okay, we need to pull that list of items and see about updated pricing on that. So once you get through your testing and you're ready to turn it on, you can just come over here and switch these over to active, and then they're running on a schedule, no problem. Some other stuff that you can look at under administration, we've in other videos, we've looked at the console a little bit. So the console is just a place where you can look at what's happening in real time. So as things are happening, if you want to trace it, what I recommend you do is open it in a separate tab, and then you can come over here to your tasks, and we'll just kick one off. and then we can go back over here to our console, and this is what's happening in real time in the system. So in this case, there's nothing to do because everything's already been taken care of. If you want to add other users to the system, you can certainly do that here as well. You can just go in and add a user. There's password reset functionality. You can, it's really pretty straightforward. It's just username and display name. Then you send them a password reset. Um, Same thing here. So you set them up an initial password and then you can do resets after that. Data deletion. So this is part of Amazon's data protection policy. We have an on-demand purge of all Amazon source data. Now, strictly speaking, you shouldn't really ever have to do this. But if for whatever reason they say, hey, you need to dump everything, you just go in here, purge all Amazon data, and it's gone. That's your order sync, shipment tracking, any feed submissions, item mappings, listing caches, all of it is gone. But I do want to stress in the order history and in any of these things, we are not hanging on to any of Amazon's customer PII. They forbid that in their terms of service, and we adhere to that very, very closely. And we could talk about how that works and how we try to support that in just a bit when we look at the help center. I think that those are the main things under administration that you would want to get involved in. Just a little bit more on Amazon's PII. Things that you want to look at. We have a whole section in the Help Center dedicated to Amazon security. We take it very seriously. So we can walk you through here each section of their data protection policy, for example, and explain this is how we meet those requirements, right down to how manage least privilege, access management, all of that kind of stuff. We cover it here and tell you this is exactly how we're meeting their policies. They have an acceptable use policy, so we have a few things here on that as well. And then we also have an audit prep checklist. So if there's anything in here, if you do get audited by Amazon, we can kind of get you on the path of saying, okay, this is how you're going to find these things. And then there's a few other things here that deal with more the solution provider side, which is our side. But again, we just want to be transparent with our customers that, hey, we actually do take this very seriously, and we're always going to default to whatever the most restrictive policy is. That is the reason that this app only works with one Amazon account at a time, because the agreement, the data protection, all of the acceptable use, all of that is on a per Amazon account basis. So if you have multiple companies or multiple Amazon accounts, you would need a separate instance of this application to interface with each Amazon account, really for compliance purposes mostly.